Nobody expected the dairy giants to struggle. For decades, their dominance looked permanent, protected by culture, politics, and sheer scale. Milk had been a habit, a tradition, and in many places, a national identity. But behind the stability was a storm building quietly. Consumer tastes drifted. Plant-based startups gained momentum. Regulators questioned long-held definitions. Environmental pressure reached a boiling point. And suddenly, the companies that once felt untouchable found themselves fighting to keep control of a category they had ruled for generations. This is the inside story of how the dairy business was forced into a dramatic $100 billion reinvention, and why the most intense battles are unfolding not in barns or factories, but in the boardrooms of global food corporations. Let's start with the moment the cracks began to show. Around the mid-2000s, dairy consumption began dropping across North America and Europe. People wanted something cleaner, lighter, or more sustainable, from oat and almond milks to soy and coconut blends. The shift wasn't just about taste, it was about identity. And for the first time, the legacy dairy players felt the ground move beneath them. Then came the political shockwaves. In the US, a fierce debate erupted over what could legally be called milk. Dairy lobbyists demanded tighter rules. Plant-based companies argued for freedom of terminology. And overnight, the dairy aisle turned into a regulatory battlefield. Inside the industry, companies like Danone, Nestlé, Lactalis, Fonterra, DFA, and Saputo faced a choice: defend the past or buy the future. Most chose to buy the future. Let's break down how the biggest players responded. First, Danone. One of the world's largest dairy companies didn't hedge. It jumped headfirst into gut health, specialty proteins, and medical nutrition. Factories were retooled, portfolios were rewritten, and Danone repositioned itself not as a dairy giant, but as a health science powerhouse. This wasn't a small shift. It was a controlled demolition and reconstruction of their entire identity. Then there's Nestlé. The largest food company on Earth made a move few expected. It sold off major dairy units, then invested in next-gen proteins, fermentation technologies, and biotech platforms capable of producing dairy ingredients without cows. A company famous for milk chocolate quietly transformed itself into a protein and nutrition giant. Nestlé didn't abandon dairy, it rewired it. Meanwhile, Fonterra, New Zealand's dairy titan, faced a harsh reality. Its high-volume model collapsed under global price swings and export chaos. The company responded by shrinking aggressively, selling businesses, exiting regions, and focusing on high-value ingredients, like specialized whey proteins. In strategy terms, Fonterra traded mass for intelligence. At the same time, the big consolidators, Lactalis and Saputo, chose the opposite path. While others retreated, they expanded, buying plants, brands, distributors, and entire regional footholds. Piece by piece, they rewrote the global dairy map. This wasn't consolidation, it was chess. And then there's the United States. American dairy cooperatives were hit from all directions: weak domestic demand, volatile international markets, and a wave of plant-based brands that outmaneuvered traditional players on social media. Their counterattack? Science, high-protein innovation, and a complete overhaul of how dairy is marketed to modern consumers. But the political fight never disappeared. Lobbyists defended the milk label. Regulators pushed for clearer standards. And dairy realized something powerful. Branding wouldn't save them. Reinvention would. Across the board, a new pattern emerged. Companies weren't selling milk anymore. They were selling function, identity, nutrition, And protein. More protein than ever. High-protein yogurt became a cultural moment. Whey protein became a global commodity. And specialized ingredients quietly became the most profitable corner of the dairy universe. Dairy wasn't collapsing, it was upgrading. But the most important insight, the winners weren't the largest companies. They were the fastest to adapt. The businesses that embraced ingredients, biotech, fermentation, and value-added nutrition became the new power centers. The ones that held on to the past paid the price. So, what does this $100 billion transformation tell us? It tells us dairy is no longer a single category. It's evolving into multiple industries at once, a cultural force, a health business, a biotechnology frontier, a protein economy, and yes, a political battleground. And the companies that succeed won't be the ones with the most cows, but the ones with the clearest strategy. So, the next time you walk past the dairy aisle, remember, you're not just looking at cartons or cartons. You're looking at the front line of a massive reinvention, an industry reshaping itself to stay relevant in a changing era. And this transformation, it's far from over. Because the fight for the future of dairy is really a fight over the future of how we nourish ourselves.